Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. So earlier this month, I shared with you a new passport kit called Passport to School, and it has all sorts of fun vintage ephemera that is great for creating projects that are school related. They're also great for teacher projects as well. I know that over the holidays, a lot of us like to create our own gifts for our kids' teachers, and this is a really great pack to be able to do that. But as you can see, my kids have a lot of little pieces of ephemera, and I don't know about you, but I always end up with all sorts of paper all over my desk, even after I've cut it up. So I had an idea to create a little box to house my library cards, but then I wanted to take it just a step further as well. Not only can these little boxes be used to house some of our ephemera that are in our kits, but they're going to be great for teacher gifts or holiday gifts as well. I plan on creating a whole line of boxes that we can use for all of the holidays and just in general, because you know, we always need a box, right? But boxes can take up a lot of room. But if you have it in a vintage and in a digital form, then all you need to do is print it out as you need it. Now, these boxes aren't huge, of course. The box is going to be able to fit on one 8.5 by 11 sheet when it's printed, so you can cut it out and create it. But it is good enough size where you can fit pieces of candy, you can fit gift cards. There's all sorts of little things that you can put in these boxes. So the finished box measures about 4 inches tall by 3 inches wide, and then it's going to be about an inch thick. So like I said, it's a pretty decent size. And of course, because it is a JPEG, it's a digital image, you could even reduce it further down if you'd like to. But I wanted to be able to start out with as big of a box as possible. And like I said, originally my idea was to be able to house my little library cards. So I wanted to make sure that it fit those as well. So to go ahead and save time, I did go ahead and I printed and cut out one of my boxes. And here I'm showing you how easy it is to just score it up. Now on the printed piece of paper, you're going to see little faint white lines to be able to follow with your scoring. But once you score one of the boxes, you're going to see how easy it is to actually just score it along. After you cut it, you're going to just want to make sure that you score all the way down here on your right, and then you're going to do that all the way on the left as well. And then you're going to want to flip it vertically so you can score the rest of them. So I would recommend when you are scoring these, just get all of your vertical lines scored first, and then once you have all of those scored, then you can flip it around and do your horizontal lines. And as you can see, the scoring goes along pretty quickly. Probably the part that's going to take the longest is cutting out the box. Now, when you are cutting the box, it's a real easy pattern to cut, but what I want to be able to show you, and I'll take a closer look for you here, is you're going to want to make sure that when you cut those notches, that you cut all the way to the lines. The notch that you see in the picture doesn't go all the way to the line, but you're going to want to make sure that you trim your notches all the way to the line. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. So once you have all of your scoring done, then it's just a matter of taking your tool and running it along the paper to go ahead and make nice crisp lines. You want your box to be able to fold really easily, so even though you've already scored it, still use your tool to be able to flatten it and give it a nice crisp line. And just taking this extra few minutes just to make sure that your scored lines are completely flattened and folded nicely will make a big difference when you go to actually put your box together. Okay, now like I said, when you are cutting your paper, the one part that I really wanted to show you is where I'm folding this over now. You want to make sure that you cut all the way to the line, so that way when you score, the fold will go right lined up with the score line, and this will really make your box come together nicely. Now, when you're putting your box together, as far as the adhesive, I would recommend some liquid adhesive. Now, certainly when I create my cards, I use my ATG gun, but for putting together the boxes, I would highly recommend getting some sort of liquid adhesive. I know that they have the Monotombo glue out there, But what I'm using is Fabri-Tac from Beacon, and this is a really strong permanent adhesive that I got at Joann Fabrics, and I've been really pleased with it so far. It's a clear glue when it dries, so even if you do make a few mistakes, it will dry clear for you. And like I said, once you get your liquid glue on, you still have some room to be able to adjust it and line it up exactly against the score lines. So that way when your box is closed, it's going to be nice and straight. So I started out by doing the folds first at the bottom, and then once the folds were completely tacky, then I just basically made sure it was completely lined up, and then I took some more of my adhesive to do the inside folds. And this of course is going to adhere the back panel to your box to make it start forming into a box. Now this really is the only adhesive that you have to do, because of course you want to keep your top of your box open so that way you can put things inside. So as you can see, it's pretty easy. You just have to glue the bottom tabs inside and then glue the back portion forward, and then just give it a couple minutes to dry. The glue that I use is quick drying. Like I said, it is a permanent adhesive, so it didn't take too long for my box to dry up. Now, there is another tip that I want to give you when you are working with these boxes. When I created the digital, the template, like I said, I cut it out exactly, but when you are going to be working with the box to be able to fold it open and close, the tabs that are on the top, you may want to trim them just a little bit more, because when I created the digital, I created the tabs a little bit thicker because you may want to glue the box shut. You want to have a lot of surface to be able to glue. But if you are going to be working with a box that you want to open and close, you just want to have those tabs a little bit more narrow. And also, of course, if you want to round your corners for your top flap, you can certainly do that as well. You're able to do that easily with a corner rounder or even your chomper. All right, so like I was just mentioning, I would recommend if you are going to be using the box to store items, just trim the tabs on the top part of your box a little bit more, so that way when you do insert them inside of the box, they won't be as thick as the ones on your bottom. And this will just make it a little bit easier for you to open and close your box. And with that, your box is pretty much complete. Now it's just a matter of filling it with a little gift for your teacher, or maybe some of the ephemera from the kit, anything you like. These boxes are stackable. You can easily put them on a shelf as well. Now, in my kits, in the purchase, if you do purchase this digital, you're going to get 5 designs. And 4 of the designs already have pictures on the front, but I did create one of the boxes to not have a design on top, because I wanted you to be able to decorate it exactly like you wanted to. Maybe you want to put a tag to a teacher, maybe you want to personalize it, maybe you want to use some of the ephemera in the passport to school kit. There's a lot of ways you can go with this, but I wanted you to have an option where you can decorate your own box, and that's why I created this one here without any sort of graphic on the top portion. So I'm going to go ahead and just decorate my box here since we're on camera, and I'm going to choose just one of the pieces that was from my kit. And the piece that I ended up going with was the Scholars Monthly Report, and this is of course from my Passport to School kit. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim my ephemera here, and I'll be able to adhere this little monthly Scholars Monthly Reports right to my box, and then pretty much my box will be complete. Now, like I said, I am going to be creating more designs with this little template, so you can create boxes for any type of theme or any type of occasion. With the holidays coming up, I really wanted to be able to have some sort of printable, whereas if I needed a little gift box, I can just print it out and not have to run to the store and buy a 3-pack if I really only needed one. And what's fun about these boxes is you can personalize them, you can, decorate them. There's a lot of ways that you can go. And as a paper crafter, it's always fun to create our own holiday gifts, but wouldn't it also be fun to create your own card as well as a matching little box? So be sure to check out the shop. You're going to be seeing this design showing up over the next couple of months. I've already created some designs for people that love to give baked goods. I created really cute little Christmas baking tags to add to our holiday baking items. And then, of course, I'm going to have these little boxes to house our tags. So just make sure that you check out the shop, and I will make sure that I put the links below so you can link to them directly. So with a little glue, my label was attached to my box, and it was pretty much, like I said, complete. Now, another idea, of course, is if you did want to stamp on your box, you would want to do any sort of stamping or coloring before you put your box together, but that certainly is possible as well. And then once our box is finished, we can just fill it with all sorts of fun ephemera, gifts, anything that we like. So I hope that you've enjoyed my new design, creating these cute little teacher boxes. And like I said, we're going to be having some Halloween boxes and some Christmas boxes as well. So watch for those. So as always, I'll leave a list of all the products that I've used to create the little box along with the links to the stores. And if you've enjoyed my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And before you head out, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.